Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our preview series in partnership with Fans Bets, the show in which we look ahead to the next Arsenal game, and we've just got a little one to talk about today as we go ahead of the North London derby on Sunday. I'm going to be joined by some guests to talk about the game, get their predictions, of course, their lineups rather, as well, and look forward to seeing it also. But as always, these preview shows are now sponsored by Fans Bet, and they allow us to help support some fantastic charities such as Sports in Mind, who is our chosen charity. Please check them out in the description. But you can, as per our welcome offer, get a bet 10, get 10 every single time you join up as a new TGT Fans Bet partner. Terms and restrictions apply. Full details are on site. 18 plus. Please do gamble responsibly and visit begambleaware.org for more info. And do also check out the Fans Bet responsible gambling tools. You can also see myself along with some really great guys on the Fans Bet Twitter account putting forward some views ahead of the North London derby and some really fun videos as well. What has happened basically is Arsenal have been the butt of the joke, that even the Crystal Palace fans, D, has been really coming at me on those shows. But fingers crossed we can turn our form around very soon. Let's introduce to you today's guests. I'll start with Zameer. How you doing, mate? Are you well? Are you good?
I'm good, Tom. How you doing?
Very good, mate. Very, very good. I'm hoping that my other two guests are ready. I could see them prepping. Ludwig suddenly appeared on screen out of nowhere. Are you good? Are you well?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Just want to say sorry for everyone watching. I was a bit late. That's the reason for the late stream. It was not Tom this time.
6 minutes past. I love that you still dig me out then. It's not Tom's fault. It's like
this time.
All the others have been. This time it's Ludwig's. And making up our four-person panel, it's Abby. How you doing, Abby? You well?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Tom. Yeah, all the better for seeing you, of course.
Awesome stuff. We've got a big game to talk about, guys. Abby, I'm going to come to you first. How nervous are you?
Oh, do you know what? I was doing fine until you messaged me today, actually, and said, "Oh, do you want to come on?" I was like, "Oh God, no, I can't. I can't put myself under that kind of pressure and think about it." Yeah, I'm really nervous, mate. I feel a bit sick. I do, and it's just gradually getting worse and worse as the minutes go on.
Yeah, I don't ever look forward to a North London derby. Not a single one. I can't remember. Ludwig, are you in that same bracket, or do you enjoy these kind of anxious waits for the game?
Well, today I'm really calm because we have a holiday, public holiday, Heritage Day today, so I'm really calm today. But I think tomorrow is gonna set in, and tomorrow is really gonna start getting stressful. But I think we got this one. I think we got it.
Oh, prepare to meme. You're going to get memed now, Ludwig, for that, the overconfidence. Zameer, anxious, scared, excited? Where are you at?
Yeah, I think I don't get high or low, Tom. I'm good now. I think the nerves will settle in once we kick off. It doesn't hit me till kickoff.
Really? I wish I could be like that, because genuinely the week I was having a chat with Kevin Campbell earlier on today about a series that's coming out on the Highbury squads, and he was asking about the feelings. I was like, I hate it, mate. I cannot stand it. It's awful. It's a really horrible feeling. Let's jump into the chat box and see what you guys are saying. Alex George says, we're bad, but we're not Spurs bad, which is a nice way of putting things right now. Jordan says, I'm nervously confident about this game. I saw, obviously, my right-hand man, Drew, saying it's the most confident he's ever been ahead of a North London derby, which is crazy considering we lost our first 3 games, which is, honestly, I don't get the confidence. I really don't. Some fantastic chants going on in the chat box as well. You know the appropriate response to those. Let's kind of go into some of the actual nitty-gritty stuff and talk about in regards to the form of both sides. Abby, Arsenal off the back of 3 wins if you count the Wimbledon game. Spurs 2 league losses against Palace and Chelsea, and then they squeezed through against Wolves in the League Cup. Do you think form has anything to do with this, or is it simply a case of it's a derby and anything can happen?
Yeah, no, I don't think form has anything to do with this. I think there's always like so much passion from everybody when they play this game. You know, it doesn't matter where we are in the table. I think the emotions can sometimes get the better of both these teams, either in a good way or a bad way. And I don't think this time is going to be any different. In fact, I think it might be a little bit worse for that kind of passion and emotions because we are both doing really quite bad. So we're going to have something to prove. Both teams have got something to prove, more so than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't think of a North London derby that could have such. I'm thinking back to kind of the top four races. Remember those? Remember when we used to be in those races for top four? But I remember there was one towards the end of the season where Spurs were, I think it was something like 11 points ahead in the race for top four. And we won the derby going into kind of the last 10 games. And we managed to get top four. And I think that was the season in which the whole 1-1 at Newcastle scenario happened. So that was certainly a thing that we long towards, being in competition for top four places. Ludwig, is it for you? Are you concerned still about Mr. Harry Kane, despite the fact he's not having the best of seasons? Scored, of course, in midweek, but he's been off form so far. Does that please you that he's been off form, or do you think it's Arsenal he's going to turn up?
It pleases me. I don't think he's having the best of times, but it's Harry Kane. He always shows up against us, and currently I don't think he's the main guy for Spurs. I think I don't know, is Son injured? Was he injured? Or
no,
is he
Son's fat. Son's fat. Son's fit and ready to go.
I know you don't like the guy, but calling him fat a bit far, Tom. No, I think I'm a bit more scared of Son at this point. Son is a bit. I wish we could have signed him. He's a Spurs player, but I do love the guy, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm more scared of Son at this point. Harry Kane, I think, with all the commotion that went on with him and transferring to City and that falling through, and the new manager, the problems they had, I think if we do end below them this season, it would be a big shock. It would be troubling times for us.
Yeah, the impact, if we were to go on and win this game, to hit Spurs with 3 back-to-back league defeats and for us to go on 3 back-to-back league wins would be the momentum on either side. But if the other result happens, it could be a real pressure back on Mikel Arteta as well.
Definitely.
Abby, with that cheeky DM you sent me the other day when after the back of 2 wins, you're like, are you changing your mind on Arteta now? No, maybe if we win, we'll be able to get back on that train. Zameer, interestingly, Ludwig there talked about kind of players that he wishes we'd signed. Interestingly, there's a bit of a battle of the right backs that could be happening at the weekend. Emerson, of course, a player that we were heavily linked to, a player that a lot of Arsenal fans wanted. Tomiyasu, a player that Spurs were heavily linked to at the beginning of the window. And there was kind of a switcheroo situation that went on. Arsenal ended up with Tomiyasu, Spurs got Emerson. And certainly the Japanese international has outshone the Brazilians so far. Based upon 2 games, and it is just 2 games, does it look like we may have got the right choice there?
You like asking these questions, don't you?
Of course.
No, I think it's too soon to say. I think Emerson is a talented player, and it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to develop at Tottenham under Nuno. I don't know if Mourinho was there, I would say he would develop really well, but I don't know if he's going to succeed under Nuno and that system over there. I think Tomiyasu so far has been good, but 2 games in, like we've played 2 okay teams, right? Burnley, Norwich. I mean, now the tests come, Tottenham, and then we've got to see him play against. I want to see him play against Mane and Salah and that level of competition to see how he really does before making a judgment on either player.
Did the Zaha massacre not change your mind on Emerson at all?
No, not. I mean, look, he's a new player in a new league. It's going to take time to settle in. He obviously picked the wrong North London team to go to, which is fine. Can't knock him for that decision, and his career trajectory will follow the decisions he made.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. Right, let's get into our predicted lineups this week. Of course, as always, though, our show is in partnership with FansBet. And if you are considering having a bet this week, and our friends over at FanBet have a totally free-to-play game for this weekend's Premier League action, simply enter and predict the outcomes of all of the games with a chance of winning up to £10,000 in free bets. Terms and restrictions apply. Full details are on site. 18 plus, and please do gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. Let's crack on though with those live reads. Zameer, we start with yours. Do you want to talk to it?
Yeah, I've gone with sort of 4 at the back, maybe 3 at the back, switcheroo from defense to offense in this system. And starting with my back line, I've kept it consistent with Tomiyasu Tierney, Gabriel White, and Ramsdale. I think they are developing good chemistry together. They're solid. They understand how to play out from the back with each other. And I think that foundation has to continue and be something we build on. I'm going to skip to the forward line and go for Aubameyang.
I wonder why.
I'll get to the midfield. I think it's a longer discussion, but I think the front line, Aubameyang to me has had this mental block against Spurs since he missed that penalty at Tottenham a couple of years back in the top 4 race. And I think if there's any game that he needs to score in, he needs to have a good performance in, especially with what happened last season as well, him showing up late. It's got to be this game. It really is the key to me to turning his form and his career around at the club and his opinion from the fan base. And so I think this is going to be a really critical game for him. Saka, I if you remember during the Norwich game, I dropped him to the bench because I knew his legs were going, but I think it's a North London derby. He has to play. It's simple as that. And then Pepe to me is a game changer. I think he's the one who could find that golden moment. And as much as he gets criticized, like, he's not been that bad since the season has started. The big decisions in midfield. I've actually gone for Maitland-Niles as the 6, and then Partey and Odegaard as kind of the 8-10 combos. And the reason I do that is I don't like Thomas Partey as a 6. He's not a 6 in my book. Tom, if you're saying something, you're
I am muted. That's really annoying because I had something really witty to say, but go on, Zameer, carry on.
I don't like when he plays that deeper role. It limits his game so much. It limits the amount the impact he has in the transitions, in the press, in the defense. So I play him as an 8, and I play Odegaard as an 8, and maybe a 10 when we switch to a back 3 when we're attacking. And then I've gone for Maitland-Niles because I think this is also one of the players that needs a prove-it game, similar to Aubameyang. I think he's been decent so far this season. Spurs, their tactics are pretty simple, right? Feed it down the channels to Son or Lascelles. So Harry Kane pretty much plays in midfield under Nuno. And mainly, I think if you give him a disciplined role as a 6, can cover from sideline to sideline, front to back.
Why not Lokonga?
The thing with Lokonga is I think he played 90 minutes midweek, and I think he's a good option to have in the second half for game management. Or if we need to go on the front foot, he would be a good option to have then. I don't want to burn him out. He's still young, and I don't want him to consistently play these games right now. Every week is better for me. For Lokonga, unfortunately, in my mind, Thomas Partey could get injured. Granit Xhaka could get suspended again. Then we're left with Lokonga playing week in, week out with El Neni. So it's a bit of thinking 4 or 5 games ahead, but also pacing his development along.
He's muted again. There's such a twice in one show. That's not good. Let's go on then to Ludwig's team. I think I think Abby's. We were talking about kind of contentious decisions in midfield. I mean, Abby, you are going to need to explain yourself with this one. Go on, but talk us through your entire lineup.
Okay, so I think the back line speaks for itself. I think Tomiyasu was just an exceptional signing. Really, I can see why he's there, what he actually brings to that back line, and I'm really impressed with that. Okay, so Xhaka, the elephant in the room. Now, I don't think he deserves to play. All right, I would be happy for anybody else to play. However, I do feel like we might need some experience in there, and I know he's got mistakes in him, but when he's on it, he is really on it, and I think he can conduct the middle of the park really, really nicely. I think he can free Partey up as well to do what Partey can do, and yeah, I think for a North London derby, he knows what it feels like. He knows what it means to everybody to win that, and I think he could step up for it. I don't think he should be playing. All right.
Oh, so this is more of a predicted lineup rather than a desired
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to put Lukonga in there, but I don't think he'll play 90 minutes on Wednesday. Did really good. But one of the things I did notice with him, he is a young guy and he can be all over the place. And I just think Højbjerg, I just think he's just going to bully him. Really do. And I think he's going to get kicked. I think the more experienced guys out of the Spurs team will try and have him on toast. Really. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Xhaka. Okay. Partey speaks for himself, and I think the front four there. Again, Saka and Smith Rowe know exactly what this is about, and I think those three really deserve their place here. I think they have been, they've been really good. I love the way Smith Rowe fights. I think Odegaard is, he's really impressed me since he's come back. Now, Aubameyang or Lacazette. Either one of them I'd be happy with. Okay. I didn't think much to Lacazette on Wednesday. But again, he works hard. Maybe that's what we need. But yeah, you got to give it to Aubameyang. He's the guy that's here. He's our main guy.
No Pepe.
No, I just think his trickery. I know I've not really been that impressed with it. I haven't, and again, I just think I think Spurs kind of know him. I think they're gonna chop him down. I also, though, saying that, I do think he would be a good player to bring on when we need something else, when we need something different. Okay, and maybe it's not working. He is a good impact player. I do like him, but yeah, not for the Spurs game.
Fair enough. Well explained as to why. I think a lot of people in the chat box feel that actually this might be the team that we end up seeing Arteta use on Sunday. So if you want to bet on it, there you go. Ludwig, talk us through your selection.
So yeah, like everyone says, like the back five guys, the Tierney, Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, they speak for themselves. Ramsdale has been phenomenal. I love the guy. I love the signing. I love the humble pie everyone has to eat. That was wrong about him.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The Tomiyasu has been a good signing. I hope it can continue because we have seen in the past guys signing for Arsenal. First 2-3 games they play amazing and then suddenly they just drop off a cliff. So I hope he can continue his form. If he does, it'll be amazing. Lukonga Partey, I don't trust Xhaka. I don't trust him at all. And I think if he loses, if he comes back and he does something stupid and he loses us the game against Spurs, I think what we saw 2 years back when he threw down the armband, the abuse he got from the fans, I think that's going to be multiplied by like 50 or something. I think it will be the end of his career at Arsenal just through the fans, just by fan pressure. And then Partey, I love Partey, good player. I'll play him all the time. Odegaard, our captain, our real captain, with just the amount of effort he puts into every game. I love the guy. Then I went for Smith Rowe over Saka because this might not be a popular opinion, but I think Saka has really been struggling. I think he's been one of our worst attackers this season. And not that I think is a bad player. He's a really good player. I just think he needs a bit of time to rest because he's been playing a lot of football. He's a very young guy. And I think I didn't watch the game against Wimbledon, but our previous Prem game,
not many people did, mate.
Yeah. He was he just didn't really do anything on the pitch. So I would just drop him, just not because he's bad, just because I want him to rest, want him to come back, want him a bit more motivated, because I think he has been playing a lot of football. Pepe, as you can see over here, right there. I love Pepe, as always. I think he's been one of our best attackers. I think he needs to work on his finishing, but I think everyone in the team has to work on their finishing. but I think he is currently one of our best attackers other than Odegaard. I think Odegaard he's just been amazing. And then Oba, yeah, Oba is Oba. We have to play him when he's on.
We
He's
don't have
on.
to. We could go with Lacazette
No,
instead.
we have to play him. I wouldn't play Laka. I don't know.
Yeah.
Odegaard Aubameyang just always has something in him if he shows up. I mean, like I said last time, he should be our main man. He needs confidence. He needs to get back to where he was. I think if we can't get it this year, we need to maybe even look to sell him in January and get a new striker in. Because if he can't perform, then we can't keep relying on him every time, and we can't keep relying on Lacazette, who's going to go away. So if he doesn't perform by January, I think we should move on. But yeah, this is my best team we can play.
Fair play.
Overall.
In terms of what I've gone for, quite similar. Takes part of what everything everyone has said. Obviously, the back five. I don't need to explain. My three guests have explained that back five perfectly. Lokonga and Partey. I have still gone for Lokonga. I feel like he's got the energy, he's got the legs to play this game. I mean, he's not played every single game from the start. He didn't play against Manchester City, for instance. Obviously, he came and played 90 minutes in midweek and was involved against Burnley from the bench. So he didn't play 90 minutes against Burnley either. So you could argue that he's got enough in him to play this game too. And he should do, really. He's a 21-year-old kid. He's going to have plenty of time to recover ahead of the game on Sunday, Wednesday to Sunday game. The front four, sorry, Ludwig, to disappoint you. I've also omitted Pepe, and I agree with Abby in not necessarily select him in this game. It's really hard. It's really hard to choose between him and Saka because I like Pepe. I think he can give us a lot in games. The problem is that I think it comes down to a choice between him and Saka. I don't want to see Saka on the left anymore. And I want to see Saka given the opportunity to play in what I feel is his strongest position at right wing. And for that reason, I think that Emile Smith-Rowe's creativity on the left and also his combination with Tierney. I like the fact that when you play ESR on the left, you've got a right footer with the left-footed Tierney rather than a left-footed Pepe or Saka with the left-footed Tierney. I like the variation in that. So I know a few other people have actually argued to play Aubameyang on the left and play Lacazette up top as another possible scenario. And the problem with that is that I always find it really easy to criticise Aubameyang's performances when he starts on the left because he gets isolated. He doesn't do enough coming back. And against Tottenham, you kind of need everyone on the top of their game and really giving 110. And I'm not sure Aubameyang would on the left-hand side. So stick him up top. If he gets isolated, it's one of those things we'll have to deal with. But we should have enough creativity with this side to really propel us forwards. Interestingly, in Arteta's press conference, the way he spoke about Xhaka gave me kind of the opinion that he won't start the game. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to actually read through Arteta's comments, but the way he spoke about him was very much like he was talking about players that have got minutes in them, that have been playing games, that would play. So that gave me a bit of a sense that Xhaka won't start. Go and now obviously see him get picked on Sunday, obviously. But I just got that feeling that he wouldn't. Anyway, we're going to move to the final part of the show in just a second. I want to jump into the chat box, though, and see what you guys are saying. And one says, Tom, where's your friend Xhaka? Not in the team. I just can't do it. I just can't bring myself to pick him. Thanks, Rahul. Much appreciate the support on this one. Gunnar Boy says, Ludwig, you can use the same arguments for everyone in the front line. I think that was regarding Pepe. And I think there was a criticism, and I'll let you respond to it, Ludwig, about the choice of Pepe. Rahul says, Ludwig, a classic line, as the only criticism you face on social media, what game are you watching? Pepe is so wasteful. I disagree with him too, Rahul. I think Pepe is actually one of the most clinical players in the team, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous game, the previous Prem game, all of our front line was wasteful, and almost all of the passes towards Pepe was either behind him or too late. He also made a few mistakes, but I think Emile Smith-Rowe was bad with his finishing. He really needs to work on his finishing. He gave poor shots. Odegaard was good, but also a bit slow at times. But Saka was really bad for me that game. He really looked tired. Looked like he didn't know what to do. He had one good run, and that gave us the free kick that Odegaard scored, which was good. But overall, I think Saka had a really poor performance. Like, his passes was bad, but Pepe might be wasteful, but everyone's wasteful, and when you're not as wasteful as the rest, you're still the best. So
very
yeah,
true.
that's what I'm thinking.
Jonathan, I'm just going to move Abby up so she's not covered up so she can respond to this question. Sorry, bye, Ludwig. Jonathan says, I respectfully disagree, Abby. Against considerably strong oppositions, Xhaka's decision-making tends to betray his experience. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't always agree. I don't think it really matters, who he's playing against, whether they're stronger or they're weaker. I think he has those moments where sometimes his decision making, like everybody, it can be poor. However, I do think that he does do. I like the pivot with Partey and Xhaka. I do, and I think they complement each other. And I think you can see that Partey, he enjoys playing with him. There is a trust there. There's a bit of freedom for Partey when Xhaka is there. But listen, I absolutely get it. He can be, an accident waiting to happen. We all know this. But in the same breath, he can have some really good games. He can spray some fantastic balls. And I just think the experience. I think he'll be able to. Yeah, he knows what the Tottenham players are like, and I think he'll be able to sort them out.
There you go. Xhaka out with his first yellow, says Craig. We expect to see a fair few cards in a derby, and it's going to be frenetic. Go on, Ludwig.
So my problem with Xhaka is, he has so much experience, but I think he doesn't play sometimes 50-50. He doesn't play like a player with experience, especially when he's under pressure. He doesn't look like someone who is calm on the ball. When there's no one close to him, yeah, sure. When the game is a bit slow down, but I don't think we're going to get that against Tottenham. So he has a lot of experience, but he struggles to show it in some ways. Like we saw it against City again. Experienced player who knows the situation that the team is in. Experienced players should not be doing that, especially someone who is seen as the captain or has great leadership qualities. He should not be doing that. So that's my biggest problem with Xhaka.
Zameer?
I was gonna say. I mean, it's also down to how you play Granit Xhaka. And against Man City, the whole midfield was wrong. Like how Sambi did not play to give that extra security to Xhaka, and you play Xhaka as a sole six, you're gonna get those bad decisions from him. To me, that was on the manager, just to put him in a bad position against a Man City midfield that was gonna overrun you anyway.
Yeah.
So I think with Xhaka, it really comes down to if you play him with Partey, it can work, and usually after a red card, he does have 4 or 5 really good games after that. Just go back and look at the pattern of play with him. So I think you can't isolate him as a sole midfield player. He needs support. He needs time. And I think I would be interested to see Sambi, Xhaka, and Partey play together. Sambi as a 6, Partey and Xhaka as 8. I think that would give Xhaka a lot of time and space to ping those passes, and not as much defensive pressure on him. But we'll see what Arteta goes with.
Yeah.
For me, it's the thing about Xhaka is that we can see really good performances sometimes, and then other times we have a Man City or we have a Crystal Palace, and it's so unpredictable. And I think all of you make such good points in both corners in the Xhaka debate. And if you think back to last season, prior to Tierney's injury, where Xhaka had to get moved to left back, Xhaka was our best midfielder. He outshone Partey most of the time last season. So, and maybe that was down to Partey's injuries affecting his play, but Partey is obviously overall the better player on top of maximum ability. We know Partey is arguably our best player in the entire team, but it is going to be interesting if Xhaka gets any minutes at all on Sunday, and how Arteta now uses him after the explosion of Lokonga into the first team, and also the availability of Maitland-Niles. I mean, Zameer is including him in his own team. So it tells you that parts of the fan base are trusting the ability to use it. We will now move on to the final part of today's show, which is, of course, getting your predictions and the predictions of our guests too. But we do finish off with finding out what our bet boost for the Gooner Talk is this week. And I can tell you that our partners over at FansBet have set up an exclusive fan boost for this weekend's game just for you. And it is that Arsenal to score in both halves and Aubameyang also to score in the game was a 5.5, has been boosted all the way up to 6.5. So if you are considering a bet on the game this weekend, there is your option. Let's go to the predictions. Zameer, we're going to start with you. What are you going for?
I'm going to go 3-1 to the Arsenal. I think Harry Kane will get his customary penalty and score, and I think the back line will be tested with Tottenham. And then from our perspective, I think it's time we score more than a goal and look a bit threatening. I think that Tottenham back line is there for the taking. If we are, if we're on the front foot and we attack with intent and we press with intent, we can early in the game have them make some mistakes, and I think really take advantage of that and take control of this game. It's a derby; it can go either way. But I'm going to go 3-1. I'm confident that there's a lot of underlying stories, as you mentioned, Tom. There's the battle of the right backs. There's even amongst the Arsenal fan base, Patrick Vieira's beaten Tottenham. If Mikel Arteta fails to do that a week or two later, I mean, you will start to hear those rumblings. So I think, but I'm going to go with, I think we'll have a positive performance, and I think probably one of our best North London derby performances in a while.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Abby?
I'm going to go for a really boring 1-0 to the Arsenal. I can't really see
about that.
I can't really see us scoring that much more at the moment. I just don't see. I can't see anybody putting anything away. It's going to be again a really sloppy goal probably. I think we'll deserve the 1-0 though. I can't see Tottenham getting past our back line. I think we've got something quite special there. I'm really, really hopeful for this back line. I'm not so hopeful going forward, but I am really hopeful for this back line. And I think Tomiyasu, I think they've all got something to prove. And I think you can see that with the way they're playing at the moment. They're desperate not to let anything go in that goal. Because I think it was it wasn't a shambles. The first part of last season was such a shambles. I think they've got this in the back of their head. It's like, come on, no, let's not let anything in. So, 1-0 to the Arsenal, pretty boring. And because it's only 1-0, everybody's still going to be like, Arteta out.
Ludwig.
Bother me.
So, I was very confident at the beginning of the show, but as we've talked about, my confidence has been fading because it does feel like we've been struggling to score goals. Like both our Prem games that we won was 1-0, and we have only scored 2 goals this season. So I am a bit worried about that. I think
we've scored. Hold on, we've scored 11, have we not? We've scored 11 goals.
No. It was 1-1 in the Prem. So I am a bit worried about that. I think I agree with Abby. The goal might just be a sloppy 1-0, but I think it's going to be a bit difficult. If Tomiyasu's on his game, he might show Son he's the best Asian player in the Prem. I hope he keeps him in his pocket.
Better than Son.
So that's my hope. I hope I'm going for 1-0 for Arsenal. I hope he can keep them out, but I'm a bit afraid of Kane for scoring his customary goal against us. But I'm going to go with 1-0. I think Ramsdale and our backline will keep them out.
You've really sparked my intrigue now as to how many Asian players there are in the Premier League. You've got like Heung-min Son from South Korea. You've got Mina Minos at Liverpool from Japan. I'm trying to think of any. Yoshida's not at Southampton anymore, is he? He's gone to Italy, I think. I don't think there's that many, to be honest, in the men's game. I know there's quite a few in the women's game, but yeah, that's maybe one to think about. How many of the Asian players in the Premier League can you name, chat box? So we'll go through as many as we can at the end. Plenty of you guys have been throwing in all of your predictions. It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Like, we got a lot of positive wins. We got some draws. Thankfully, no Spurs victory so far, bar I think one. Although Claudio says Xhaka red card, honestly, is his prediction. Nico F says 2-0 Bukayo Saka and Partey to score. Rahul reckons that the Emirates atmosphere is going to help us score. Karmic's going 3-0. Oh, yes, Kang In Lee from Wolves. And you've got Hwang Hee Chan's at Wolves as well on loan from RB Leipzig. So that's a big shout. So, yeah, there is a few, but not anywhere near as many as you would think. Getting like flashbacks to Inamoto and Ryu Miichi that used to play at the club as well. Anyway, we do conclude today's show there. Thank you ever so much to everyone that's tuned in today. Please, if you haven't already, do drop a like on today's video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here with those notifications turned on, so you never miss a show. Let me take a second to thank my guest chat box. If you could show some love to my guests today, they've been absolutely fantastic. Zameer, always a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Yeah, good to be on. Tom, did I miss your prediction?
You did. I didn't even make a. Oh, you've caught me there. I was hoping to get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Omar's always catching me out of the chat box.
I got you, Omar.
I think on the Arsenal way, I said 2-0. I think I said 2-0. I just reckon that our defense is really quite solid at the moment, and I know that Kane's existence really tempts me into saying that they'll get a goal, but I'm going to go 2-0. I love that. I think it was A in the chat was saying how anyone thinks we can score more than one goal is beyond me, which, there is all the possibility that's the case, but we'll wait and see. Lots of you guys are talking about, Kang In Lee is at Mallorca. Maybe I think they got confused with Hwang Hee Chan at Wolves. Ludwig, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate the time taken.
It was very fun. Sorry for being late once again. Sorry that I wasted a bit of time.
I've forgiven you already, Ludwig. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, no, it's good being on. Gonna enjoy the game, and we have one Spurs fan that we know. So that Spurs fan named Bob. So we actually really have one Spurs fan we know that's named Bob. So.
Inside joke for the Discord server. If you want to find out what that joke means, join up as a member and join our Discord server, because it is, these two are certainly characters, that's for sure. I mean, Zameer, is it Discord Sith Lord is your current name? Yeah, there you go.
The Empire's ambassador.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think you're convincing people to join at the moment, boys, to be honest. But in terms of this Discord, it is a great community that we built there, and Zameer and Ludwig are massive parts of that. Abby, thank you for coming on today. Second showing, second appearance. I think that's 2 and 2, 2 goals in 2. Fantastic record. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Always a pleasure, mate. And don't hate me for the Xhaka pick.
I won't. The chat box may not forgive you, but I
I think maybe Arteta. I think he might have seen sense. I don't think he deserves to play, but yeah.
We'll see what goes down, and we'll all have our phones waiting for that lineup to be announced, notifications on for sure. We'll be back, of course, on Sunday morning. No show tomorrow. I'm having a day off, as I said on the morning show today. Saturday will be a much earned day off for myself, and Sunday we'll be back at the 8 a.m. show, and there will be a reaction show at 10 o'clock in the evening. There'll be a show straight after the game, but over on the Arsenal way, if you want to find out where I'll be for that. So make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already. But other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you as always. We'll see you again very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.